response to a number of messages that you commented on, which I'm glad for and appreciate. I pointed out I've missed the strengthening parts here. Now, I had considered not putting them in because this is a thicker gauge steel than this is made of, but on reflection and after so many mentioning it, it probably is a good idea to put them in. So that's what this video is going to be. I'm not going to pull these out and put these in because I'm not sure how good they are on the other side. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make a jig up out of a bit of box section and something I can hammer form the strengthening pieces from. And I got that jig then ready for the other side when I come to it. So thank you for your comments, and I shall respond by making some. Right, already started off with a clanger. I already had in my head how I wanted to do this, and I'm already doing it wrong. So the idea in my head was to cut pie sections out of these, then bend them round. And I'm already quite happy cutting that all the way through. So let's stop there and think ahead. Okay, so the idea now is cut these out and bend those around, so that'll give me a radius around there, which hopefully will be something similar to that radius there, and it'll be easier to hammer form around that rather than a sharp edge. Something like that. I think I've made a meal of that, to be honest. I think I'll do this one the noisy but easy way. Well, that could have been better. Quite a lot better, in fact. Alright, let's see what happens. We discard that bit. Might be able to rescue it yet. Okay, let's see if I can bend this where I want it before I go doing anything else. So that one I think will go pretty much where we want it to go, because I don't think it's too far off. This one, on the other hand, I think is going to be a bit more trouble. What you doing, Dave? You're messing it up. No, it's not gone how I want it at all. That's quite a pig's ear, to be fair. Saying that, maybe it's a happy coincidence. That's too big anyway. Right, okay, this could be a happy coincidence. You might yet be able to rescue this. Still need to be smaller than that again, don't we? Because we need to allow for the thickness of the metal that's going on there. Well, this has not gone well. Okay, I think we'll cut that off, weld that side up, and then come back to that side, maybe put a welder piece on and grind it back, because I've made a pig's ear of that. is what I'm not allowed for here is this needs to be like the inner piece, the one that's going on there, not the outer piece, because it's got to have the thickness of the steel yet, which is about that so thickness. So one of the pieces I'm going to use is a IS. I've got the, I knew these are coming handy, see, little punch outs. Yes, I think we can do something with that. So if I use that as, I tack these into place where I want them. Using these as shims to hold them off, right thickness. I think that will work. That's got that tacked onto there where we want it. Problem I got now is light coming in through the back of my helmet, which is interfering with me seeing where I'm welding. Right, goggles then. Right, that's what I got these for. I try not to use these too much, otherwise I get sunburn on the face off the welding arc. But they are good for struggling when you're struggling to see where you're welding because of light behind. Now it'll probably be a good idea to leave these long, because I'll have something to mount it into the vise with as I work on it. So let's clean those welds off now and see what we got. Okay, so that's not looking too shabby. It's straight, and I think we can do something with that. Just check again; it'll fit in here. Yeah, so that'll fit in there. So if I hammer form a bit of steel around that now, we should have a bracket that we can use, he says. Okay, so a bit of steel to go around that, and see what we can do with this. So first thing we can do is make our first bend, which we want to be around there somewhere. Right, I don't really know where I'm going with this, to be honest. I'm just having a go and see what happens. No doubt some of you are watching this thinking, what on earth is he doing? Well, if you've got a better way of doing this, let me know. I'm kind of making this up as I go along. I need some way of clamping this down, I think. Okay, let's try again. I've been a bit optimistic with these corners. I think I need to find a different way to get these around. Okay, maybe you'd be better off if I get the corners in first and then spread the metal, try and shrink the metal in around afterwards. I'm trying to get these, try and go too hard on these, I think. Slightly, next strip makes slightly narrower, I think. See if it fit.
Oh, so that's just 1 inch. Ouch.
Stop myself.
Look at that.
Something like that.
It was almost made to measure.
Look at that. Happy days. Okay, so not particularly pretty, but I think they'll do the job. I weld them in and then cut those off to suit after the effect. Need to make a hole in it now to go around that and then weld it up to it rather than grind that off and put a new one on. On the other side I'll weld the nut to this and drop them in place, but the nut's already there, so we'll work around it. Okay, so attempt number 2. I'm going to make this one get rid of the plasma slag off the sides of there. Okay, so I think I made this one I made this 1.5 inches wide, and I struggle to get those over. I don't want to cut them if I don't have to, so I've gone for 1.25 inches on this one, and let's see if I can get it looking nicer. So the thing I have learned on the last one is they need clamping into place. So hold that, feel it for central, and knock that down. And if I just do that and clamp that round with the clamps. I think I'll work on the corners first and then work my way down to down the sides. He says, knowingly. It's all about learning.
That's learning, and it's the home built little jigs that you make along the way as well.
Right, okay, that looks central all the way around. So let's see how one of these corners come around now then. That's looking more promising. The glasses on are looking better. Yes, that's better.
Yeah, it looks really nice, that does.
So do the corners and then work our ways out. Let's round the way across there a little bit. Let's tighten that a bit more. Much nicer. Okay, time for the big reveal. That's promising, that's sort of holding in place. Look. Yes, that's nicer than the last one. And it still fits. Lovely. Ooh. Right, okay. Making another one of those. No welded in place. Right, okay. Ah, he's having a go now.
Yeah, thanks, Dave. So, working the corners first.
Yeah, that's what I found worked for me, so.
Oh yeah, I can see. I can feel it because it bubbled out.
Right, so before I get too far ahead of myself here, what I've done is cleaned up around the nuts. I was hoping not to have to do this, but there's more weld there than I was thinking it was going to be. So cleaned up around the nuts so they're still in place. Hole big enough so the nuts will poke through, so I can then weld around that. I'm going to plug weld these as well, so I'm going to drill those out ready for plug welds, and same again then, just drop them in to suit. Right, so got these cleaned up, ready for my plug welds. Trying to, if I remember, to paint the bits which are going to be out of sight and out of mind later on down the line, so I'm just waiting for those to dry now so we can plug weld them into place. Right, there you go, that's welded in. Next thing, which I won't bother filming, is just trim those off flush with the edges there, which is not going to be too exciting, but that's the reinforcements in. So thank you for the advice on that, and no doubt that will be much better in the long run.